Amsterdam's a city of captivating charm and unabashed freedom, where beautiful blondes share the streets with a bold, anything-goes vibe. Ready to dive into its vibrant and bold spirit? Most girls from Amsterdam are tall, blonde, blue-eyed. Walk through the streets of Amsterdam, and it's hard not to notice a striking pattern. Many of the local women are tall, blonde, and blue-eyed. This isn't just a stereotype. It's rooted in genetic trends that span generations in the Netherlands. Dutch people, on average, are among the tallest in the world, and Amsterdam reflects that reality. The women here often stand confidently, many above 5'9", their height adding to their naturally commanding presence. Combine that with light hair, crystal clear eyes, and symmetrical features, and it's easy to see why they're often described as stunning. But beauty in Amsterdam goes far beyond genetics. The women here carry themselves with confidence and purpose. You'll often see them cycling through the city's cobblestone streets, dressed effortlessly in modern, minimalist fashion. Nothing flashy, yet incredibly stylish. They embrace natural beauty, minimal makeup, healthy skin, and a focus on self-care. Their looks are not just about appearance, but a lifestyle. Balanced diets, daily biking, and an active social life all contribute to that radiant Dutch glow. What also sets Amsterdam women apart is their strong sense of independence. Beauty here isn't just physical, it's how they think and live. They speak multiple languages, are well-traveled, and value equality in relationships. They're not just beautiful to look at, they're engaging, opinionated, and full of personality. In Amsterdam, the outer beauty is only part of the story. The confidence and depth behind the looks are what make these women truly unforgettable. Built on 11 million wooden poles, Amsterdam's iconic skyline of leaning gabled houses and grand palaces hides an astonishing secret beneath its surface. The entire city is built on 11 million wooden poles. These massive timber piles, some stretching up to 20 meters deep, were driven into the soft, swampy soil to create a stable foundation. Without them, Amsterdam's buildings would slowly sink into the marshland, much like the city's famous dancing houses, which tilt precariously due to shifting foundations. The Royal Palace on Dam Square, one of the most imposing structures in the city, rests on an astonishing 13,659 wooden poles, ensuring it remains standing tall centuries after its construction in the 17th century. The Dutch have been using this ingenious engineering technique since the Middle Ages, when Amsterdam was just a small fishing village. Workers would hammer entire tree trunks into the ground until they hit a solid layer of sand, creating a sturdy base for construction. Over time, the poles petrify in the oxygen-poor mud, becoming as hard as a stone and capable of supporting immense weight. However, modern buildings now use concrete or steel piles, as wood requires constant water exposure to prevent rot, something the canal-filled city has in abundance. Despite its stability, Amsterdam's wooden foundation isn't immune to challenges. As groundwater levels fluctuate due to climate change and urban development, some poles are exposed to air, risking decay. The city continuously monitors and reinforces its subterranean forest, even injecting mud around vulnerable poles to keep them submerged. This hidden network of timber is a testament to Dutch ingenuity, proving that even a city built on water can stand the test of time. Next time you stroll past a centuries-old canal house, remember, beneath your feet lies an ancient forest, holding up an entire metropolis. More canals than Venice. Amsterdam's enchanting web of 165 canals, stretching over 100 kilometers, 62 miles, not only outnumbers Venice's famed waterways, but also tells a story of brilliant urban planning. While Venice's canals were shaped by nature, Amsterdam's were meticulously designed in the 17th century during the Dutch Golden Age to manage trade, transportation, and expansion. The city's iconic canal ring, Grachtengordel, with its concentric arcs of waterways, was an engineering marvel of its time and is now a UNESCO World Heritage Site, celebrated for its beauty and historical significance. Unlike Venice's maze-like canals, Amsterdam's waterways follow a carefully plotted, semicircular layout, divided into main canals, Herengracht, Keizersgracht, Prinsengracht, and smaller connecting channels. These canals weren't just for aesthetics. They served as liquid highways for merchants transporting spices, silks, and tulips during the Dutch trading empire's peak. Even today, the canals remain a vital part of city life, hosting floating homes, boat tours, and even a yearly light festival where the water transforms into a glittering art exhibition. What truly sets Amsterdam apart is how seamlessly its canals integrate with modern urban living. While Venice's canals are largely tourist-centric, Amsterdam's waterways are everyday thoroughfares, used by commuters on bikes, partygoers on boats, and even postal workers delivering mail by water. The canals also play a crucial role in flood control, acting as reservoirs during heavy rainfall. With over 1,500 bridges arching over them, 3 times more than Venice, Amsterdam's canals prove that practicality and charm can coexist, making them the lifeblood of one of Europe's most dynamic cities, the world's only floating flower market. Amsterdam's Bloemenmarkt is the world's only floating flower market, a vibrant spectacle where colorful stalls sit atop houseboats along the single canal. Dating back to 1862, this unique marketplace was originally designed for flower-laden barges to dock and sell their fragrant cargo directly to customers. Today, while the stalls no longer arrive by boat, they remain permanently moored, creating a picturesque scene of blooms, bulbs, and Dutch souvenirs drifting on the water. The market's history is deeply tied to the tulip mania of the 17th century, when a single tulip bulb could cost as much as a mansion. Now, visitors can take home these iconic flowers for just a few euros. Walking through the Bloemenmarkt is a sensory delight, with stalls overflowing with fresh-cut flowers, exotic plants, and rainbow-hued tulip bulbs ready for export. The market is especially famous for its Dutch bulbs, packaged neatly in souvenir boxes for travelers to plant at home. Alongside the flowers, vendors sell everything from cheese wheels to clogs, making it a one-stop shop for classic Dutch memorabilia. The floating stalls creak gently with the canal's movement, adding to the charm of this historic trading post, which has been a fixture of Amsterdam's commerce for over 150 years. While the Bloemenmarkt is a must-visit for tourists, it still serves as a working flower market for locals who come to buy fresh bouquets and gardening supplies. The mix of floating stalls and canal-side shops creates a lively atmosphere, especially in spring when the tulip season peaks. Though some say the market has become more commercialized over time, its quintessential Dutch character endures. Where else can you haggle for flowers on a houseboat with centuries of horticultural history floating beneath your feet? For a true taste of Amsterdam's floral heritage, the Bloemenmarkt remains a blooming wonder. The first stock exchange was here. Amsterdam holds the distinction of being home to the world's first stock exchange, established in 1602 by the Dutch East India Company, VOC. This revolutionary financial marketplace was born out of necessity. As global trade expanded, the VOC needed a way to fund risky yet lucrative voyages to Asia. The solution? Selling shares to the public, allowing investors to buy stakes in the company's ventures and share in its profits. This groundbreaking concept laid the foundation for modern capitalism, transforming Amsterdam into Europe's financial powerhouse during the Dutch Golden Age. The Amsterdam Stock Exchange wasn't just a place for trading shares, it introduced financial innovations we still use today, including futures, options, and short selling. Traders gathered in the open-air courtyard of the Oude Kerk, or in coffee houses along the Damrak, where speculation and rumor fueled the market's frenetic energy. At its peak, the VOC became the most valuable company in history, with its stock price soaring to dizzying heights before crashes like tulip mania exposed the risks of speculative bubbles. Yet, the exchange's resilience proved that organized securities trading could drive economic growth on an unprecedented scale. While the original exchange building is long gone, Amsterdam's financial legacy endures. The city's Beurs van Berlage, built in 1903 on the site of the old exchange, pays homage to this history. Today, Euronext Amsterdam continues the tradition, serving as one of Europe's key financial hubs. From the VOC's first shares to high-frequency trading, Amsterdam's stock exchange revolutionized how the world thinks about investment, proving that a simple idea, born on the banks of the Amstel, could change global finance forever. Tilted houses, dancing houses. Amsterdam's iconic dancing houses, with their charming yet precarious tilts, are more than just photogenic quirks. They're a testament to the city's battle against its swampy foundations. Built on wooden piles driven into soft, waterlogged soil, many of these 17th-century buildings have slowly shifted over time, causing them to lean forward, backward, or even sideways. The tilt is often most noticeable at the top floors, where facades appear to sway like tipsy revelers, earning them their playful nickname. Some lean so dramatically that neighbors seem to whisper secrets to one another across narrow alleyways. The forward tilt, or Dutch tilt, wasn't entirely accidental. Many builders intentionally designed houses to lean slightly outward, to prevent rainwater from dripping onto the foundations, and to make hoisting goods via pulley systems easier. But as centuries passed, uneven settling and rotting wooden piles exaggerated the slant, creating the whimsical effect seen today. The most extreme examples, like the smallest house in Amsterdam on Oude Hoogstraat or the wobbly row along the Damstraat, draw crowds fascinated by their gravity-defying posture. Restoration efforts often involve injecting modern materials beneath the foundations, but locals embrace the imperfections as part of the city's character. Walking through Amsterdam's historic center feels like stepping into an optical illusion, where no two buildings stand quite the same. The dancing houses aren't just architectural oddities, they're symbols of Dutch adaptability. While modern construction techniques prevent new buildings from being built on tilt, the old ones remain frozen mid-sway. They serve as a reminder that even in a city engineered for precision, nature always has the final say. So next time you spot a crooked gable, imagine it mid-pirouette, a dancer in Amsterdam's centuries-old ballet of bricks and beams. The Dutch eat 750,000 kilos of herring annually. Few culinary traditions are as distinctly Dutch as the love affair with raw herring, a dish so beloved that the Netherlands consumes a staggering 750,000 kilos of it every year. This iconic snack, known as Hollands Nieuwe, is traditionally eaten by holding the fish by its tail and taking a bite, though modern servings often come sliced and topped with raw onions and pickles. The herring is cured in salt for days, resulting in a silky texture and briny flavor that may surprise first-timers but keeps locals coming back for more. From bustling street corners to seaside stalls, herring handles, herring stands, are a fixture of Dutch life, especially during the summer months when the first catch of the season is celebrated with festivals. The ritual of eating herring dates back to the Middle Ages. when preserving fish in salt was essential for survival during long winters. Dutch sailors relied on herring as a protein-rich staple, and the invention of jibbing, a method of removing the gills and guts while leaving the pancreas to enhance flavor, revolutionized its taste. Today, the fish is still served the same way it was centuries ago, a nod to the country's seafaring heritage. In Amsterdam, spots like Stubbe's Herring or Herring and Zo draw queues of both curious tourists and devoted locals, all eager to savor this piece of edible history. While raw herring might seem intimidating, the Dutch approach it with reverence and pride. It's not just a snack, it's a cultural institution, often paired with a cold beer or Genever, Dutch gin. Whether enjoyed on a canal-side bench or at a bustling market, each bite connects you to a tradition that's endured for generations. So, if you see a herring stand, don't hesitate. Join the ranks of those who've embraced this briny delicacy. After all, when in Amsterdam, do as the Dutch do. Hold on tight and take a bite. The smallest house in Europe is here. Tucked away on Oude Hoogstraat 22, in the heart of Amsterdam, stands an architectural marvel that defies logic. The smallest house in Europe. Measuring a mere 2.02 meters, 6.6 feet, wide, and 5 meters, 16.4 feet, deep. This dollhouse-like building was once the full-time residence of a 17th-century merchant. Its absurd proportions weren't a design choice, but a clever tax dodge. Amsterdam's historic property taxes were calculated based on a building's street-facing width, prompting resourceful citizens to build narrow but deep homes. Today, this miniature wonder continues to captivate passers-by, its bright red facade and gabled roof standing as a cheeky monument to Dutch ingenuity. Despite its size, the house was fully functional, with a ground-floor shop, a steep staircase, and a cramped living space upstairs. The merchant who lived here likely stored goods in the basement and attic, maximizing every centimeter. While it's now home to a tea shop, fittingly selling petite cups of brew, the structure remains untouched, with its original wooden beams and leaded windows preserved. Neighboring buildings loom over it like giants, but this tiny house holds its own, a testament to how Amsterdam's Golden Age residents made the most of limited urban space. What's even more astonishing is that this isn't Amsterdam's only miniature dwelling. The city boasts several narrowest houses, including the famous Single 7, just 1 meter wide. But Oude Hoogstraat 22 takes the crown for sheer compactness. As you peer through its diminutive windows, imagine the merchant who once called this space home, proving that even the tiniest footprint can leave an outsized mark on history. In a city of canals and tall townhouses, this Lilliputian landmark reminds us that greatness comes in all sizes, even 2 meters wide. The oldest building is over 700 years old. Amsterdam's Oude Kerk, Old Church, has stood the test of time, quite literally. Built in 1306, this Gothic masterpiece is the city's oldest surviving structure, predating the canals, the Dutch Golden Age, and even the concept of the stock exchange. Originally a simple wooden chapel, it was rebuilt in stone as Amsterdam grew from a fishing village into a bustling trade hub. Its towering spire, added in the 16th century, became a navigational landmark for sailors and still dominates the city's skyline today. Walking through its doors is like stepping into a time capsule, where medieval gravestones line the floors and centuries of history whisper from the walls. What makes the Oude Kerk truly unique is its unexpected duality. While its vaulted ceilings and stained glass windows evoke solemn reverence, the church now doubles as a cutting-edge contemporary art space. Avant-garde installations, Think shimmering curtains of chainmail or soundscapes echoing through the nave. Contrast starkly with the ancient surroundings, creating a dialogue between past and present. This bold fusion reflects Amsterdam's spirit of innovation, proving that even its oldest treasures aren't frozen in time. The church's location in the heart of the red light district adds another layer of irony, where sacred and scandalous coexist in surreal harmony. Beneath the Oude Kerk's grandeur lies a quieter legacy. It's essentially a massive graveyard. Over 10,000 Amsterdammers are buried beneath its floor, including famous naval heroes and the wife of Rembrandt, Saskia van Eulenburg. The church's carillon bells still ring out every hour, a 700-year-old soundtrack to the city's ever-evolving story. From sacred rituals to radical art, the Oude Kerk remains not just a relic, but a living, breathing chronicle of Amsterdam's soul, where every stone has a story to tell. The Dutch love their coffee. Amsterdam's 1,500-plus cafes reveal a truth every local knows. The Dutch don't just drink coffee, they live for it. With one of the highest coffee consumption rates in Europe, averaging 2.4 cups per person daily. The city runs on caffeine. However, this isn't a recent trend. Amsterdam's coffee culture dates back to the 1600s, when the Dutch East India Company first smuggled coffee beans from Yemen, sparking a national obsession. The city's cafes range from historic brown cafes with stained wooden walls and antique coffee grinders to minimalist third-wave roasters that source single-origin beans. Iconic spots like Coffee and Coconuts, housed in a 1920s cinema, or Lot 61, a pioneer of Amsterdam's specialty coffee scene, showcase how seriously the Dutch take their brew. Even the ubiquitous Febo snack bars have coffee machines, proving that bitterballen and espresso are a perfectly normal pairing. What truly sets Amsterdam apart is how coffee weaves into daily life. Cyclists pause mid-commute for a takeaway cup. Office workers hold coffee breaks like clockwork. And even museums like the Rijksmuseum serve artisanal blends. The city's canal-side terraces become impromptu coffee salons in summer, where conversations flow as steadily as the espresso. In a place where beer and herring get more attention, coffee is the quiet constant, a warm, comforting thread stitching together Amsterdam's vibrant, fast-paced days. The city has more nationalities than New York. With 180-plus nationalities calling Amsterdam home, this compact city boasts even greater cultural diversity than New York. Nearly 50% of residents have at least one parent born abroad, creating a vibrant mosaic of languages, cuisines, and traditions. This multiculturalism traces back to the 17th century Golden Age, when merchants, sailors, and refugees from across Europe, Asia, and Africa flocked to the thriving Dutch trade hub. Today, walking through neighborhoods like De Pijp or Bijlmer feels like globe hopping. One block might smell of Surinamese roti, the next of Turkish kebabs or Indonesian rijsttafel, reflecting centuries of cross-cultural exchange. What makes Amsterdam's diversity unique is how it shapes everyday life. The city's official second language is often English, with announcements made in Dutch, English, and occasionally Arabic or Spanish. Schools celebrate Diwali and Eid alongside Sinterklaas, and local markets sell Dutch cheese next to Ghanaian plantains. Even the famed cycling culture becomes a melting pot. Bike lanes buzz with riders in hijabs, business suits, and rainbow pride gear. This integration isn't perfect. Housing discrimination and income gaps persist. But the city's pragmatic tolerance fosters a rare sense of belonging. As one local put it, "You're not Dutch until you're half Dutch." This diversity also fuels Amsterdam's creative energy. Artists like Van Gogh and Rembrandt drew inspiration from global influences centuries ago. Today, designers, chefs, and musicians continue to remix traditions. The overhead IJ Festival stages avant-garde theater on a former shipyard with multilingual performances, while the Kwaku Summer Festival turns Zuid-Oost into a Caribbean carnival. In a world growing more divided, Amsterdam, where a Moroccan-Dutch mayor governs a city with speakers of 100+ languages, offers a compelling vision, a home that's everyone's and no one's at once. The airport has a park for departed pets. Tucked away near Schiphol Airport's cargo area lies one of aviation's most touching secrets: a dedicated pet cemetery for animals who pass away during air travel. Established in the 1950s, this grassy plot serves as the final resting place for everything from goldfish to Great Danes, each marked with a small plaque bearing the pet's name and date of death. The cemetery reflects the Dutch commitment to compassion. Even in transit, beloved companions receive dignity. Airlines and handlers quietly bring animals here when the unthinkable happens mid-flight, turning a logistical reality into a space of quiet remembrance. The stories buried here are as diverse as the pets themselves. One plaque memorializes a parrot named Kiki, who traveled from Brazil. Another marks a service dog en route to a new home. Some tags simply read, "Unknown Cat," highlighting the anonymous journeys many animals make as cargo. What makes Schiphol's approach unique is its personalized touch. Unlike most airports, which cremate deceased pets anonymously, here, each life is acknowledged. Groundskeepers maintain the site with care, and though it's closed to the public, occasional visitors, like grieving owners or airline staff, leave flowers or toys. This cemetery also underscores the unseen risks of animal air travel, from stress to temperature fluctuations. While modern pet transport has improved, Schiphol's gesture reminds us that behind every statistic is a family's loss. In a place where millions hurry to destinations, these small markers pause time, a poignant contrast to the airport's hustle. For travelers who've unknowingly flown above these graves, it's a hidden testament to how the Dutch honor all passengers, furry or otherwise, in life and death. You can sleep in a crane. Perched 50 meters above the IJ River, the Veralde Crane Hotel is Amsterdam's most audacious accommodation. A converted 1950s industrial crane transformed into 3 lavish suites. Once used to build ships in the NDSM wharf, this rusty giant now cradles guests in glass-walled luxury, complete with whirlpool tubs, king-size beds, and 360-degree views stretching across the city. The crane's original machinery remains intact, allowing the entire structure to rotate slowly, turning bedrooms into moving observation decks. It's where industrial grit meets 5-star comfort, proving Amsterdam never lets history go to waste. It just gives it a boutique makeover. Staying here feels like occupying a steel and glass treehouse for adults. Sweet names, secret, style, and sweet hint at their personalities, from moody black interiors with leather accents to airy white spaces with floating fireplaces. The most thrilling feature? A private sky-high hot tub on the crane's upper deck, where bubbles mix with seabird cries and sunset views over the waterfront. By day, the NDSM district's street art and repurposed warehouses buzz below. By night, the crane becomes a glowing beacon, its red lights pulsing like a heartbeat over the river. The Veralde isn't just a hotel, it's a symbol of Amsterdam's reinvention. Where others saw scrap metal, the owners saw a romantic retreat and an Instagram sensation. Guests can even abseil down the crane's arm for an adrenaline kick before breakfast. At €750 a night, it's a splurge. But where else can you sleep inside a monument to Dutch engineering, suspended between the city's maritime past and its sky-high future? For those who think hotels should defy gravity, this is the ultimate check-in. Secret Catholic churches, hidden in attics. Amsterdam's Our Lord in the Attic, Ons Lieve Heer op Zolder, is an architectural sleight of hand. A full Catholic church hidden inside a 17th-century canal house. When the Protestant Reformation banned Catholic worship in 1578, devout followers created clandestine spaces to practice their faith. From the street, this house near the red light district looked ordinary, but its attic concealed an elaborate 3-story church with a Baroque altar, pews for 150 worshippers, and even a confessional. For over 200 years, Catholics whispered through secret entrances to attend Mass, their hymns muffled by the bustling household below. The church's design was a masterpiece of religious camouflage. A folding pulpit could be tucked away, while movable walls hid sacred artifacts during inspections. The attic's skylights, disguised as domestic windows, flooded the nave with light, but only if you knew where to look. Today, visitors climb the same steep staircases used by 17th-century worshippers, passing through lavish merchants' rooms that served as decoys. The contrast between the home's modest facade and its soaring, gilded interior still feels like stepping into a spiritual Narnia. Now a museum, Ons Lieve Heer op Zolder, preserves this duality, a testament to Amsterdam's paradoxical history of tolerance and suppression. While the city famously sheltered persecuted groups, Catholics endured centuries of restrictions. Yet their hidden attics, barns, and warehouses became a network of resistance, proving faith could thrive in shadows. In a city that celebrates openness, this clandestine church reminds us that some of Amsterdam's richest stories are tucked just out of sight. Amsterdam's full of surprises, and we've only scratched the surface. If you enjoyed the ride, hit that like button, subscribe for more wild city deep dives, and drop your favorite fact below.